Hi guys, welcome back to again Saucey. It's Chef Cheryl once again here at Gerhardt's Glenside. I'm in my beautiful JennAir kitchen, my home sweet home, and I just wanted to take a moment to teach you guys how to do burgers from scratch. Now I know it's super convenient to pick up a patty at the store, but they're often dry, they lack a lot of flavor, and I'm going to show you some tricks that'll make you have the best burgers of your life. Promise you that. So now here I have about 2.5 pounds of ground beef. You can use chuck, you can use sirloin, it's up to you. I always use sirloin if possible. It's a better cut of meat, it has more fat. It's a little more expensive, so feel free to use whatever was within your budget and your tastes. So what I'm doing here is I'm just adding some cracked pepper and some sea salt to my burger, okay? Right in front of me, I have a bowl of water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix in my seasonings, then I'm going to go into that water and get my hands nice and wet so that I can form my patties, okay? So right here, I'm just mixing in my salt and pepper into my ground beef, like so. Okay, we want to make sure that's all nice and seasoned. Now, why am I only using salt and pepper to season my burgers? Obviously, burgers need a lot more seasoning than just that. But I have a little surprise ingredient for you guys today. Okay, so I've got my ground beef nice and mixed up, so I'm just going to dip my hands right into the water. Not so they're soaked, just so they've got a little touch. And I'm going to form my patties, okay? Out of this 2.5 pounds, what I'm going to get is about 5 burgers. So what I'm going to do is kind of just split my meat down the center. Make some nice marks so I can kind of get a general idea of how I want my burger to be. So I'm just going to form my burgers into patties, okay? You're going to squeeze nice and tight like you're making a meatball, and then you're going to flatten it out, okay? Just like so. I'm going to put that to the side. I'm going to create my next burger. Now, like I said, remember, nice and tight. We're going to get that meat to stay together. And then we're just going to open it up like a patty, okay? So what I'm going to do next when we have all our patties together is I'm going to add a little square right in the center of our herbed butter. So how I make herbed butter is I allow 1 stick of butter to come to room temperature, and then you are going to mash it down with a wooden spoon. That's what I like to use in a bowl. Then you're going to chop up some fresh herbs. You can use chives, you can use parsley, garlic, cilantro, whatever your taste buds are. Today, when I made my herbed butter, I used fresh chopped garlic, basil, and parsley inside mine. Italian parsley, not curly parsley. Okay, so I'm getting my 5 burgers together here. This one's kind of big, so I'm going to steal a little meat back from him. We all want them to be basically even so that they cook properly, okay? So here we are. We got our 5 burger patties together. Now I'm going to go over our special little ingredient with you. I took that butter like we talked about and I mashed it down with my wooden spoon. And then what I added to my bowl with my wooden spoon is fresh garlic and parsley and Italian parsley, not curly parsley, and basil. And then I rolled it back up in a little bit of plastic wrap. You can use tin foil, you can use a sandwich bag, whatever. You just want somewhere to have it get solid back in your refrigerator for about 1 hour. And then that's it. You've got your herbed butter. This is fantastic to have in your refrigerator just for any time. It can stay in your refrigerator for a long time. You can also freeze it as well. Take out a pat, put it on top of fresh grilled fish or shrimp. Lift up your chicken skin and slide a pat of this herbed butter underneath with a little bit of fresh sage. It's incredible. Okay, so I'm just going to use my hands to make my dents in my burgers to add my pats of butter. So I'm just going to slice down little pats of butter, okay? We got it nice and herbed up. Now, why am I putting the butter in the burger instead of on the outside? So I'm going to throw 2 pats right into a separate pan, and I'm going to start that pan up in a few minutes because that's what I'm going to use to toast my buns. Why not add some flavor to the buns too, right? So back to my burgers. I'm just going to make a little indent with my fingers. Okay, we're going to press all the way down because we're going to cover our butter with the meat again, okay? Can we see that there? So I'm just going to add a pat of butter right to the center, and I'm going to cover it with my meat, okay? So we're going to go back on top. That's why you want your burgers to be nice and healthy, right? I've got a little extra meat here on the side. I didn't use all my meat just in case I needed to cover, and I do, just a little bit. So let's cover up that hole in that burger, and then we're going to squeeze again and make sure that patty is definitely closed, okay? Then I'm going to do the same for my next burgers. Now, I learned about this recipe actually watching my own cooking show. I like to follow a man named Stephen Reichlin. He is a barbecue pitmaster, and he often does lots of burgers and meats barbecued all over the world. And when he did his stuffed burger recipe, I thought to myself, that looks amazing. You know what happened? I made it for myself, and when I did, I realized that not only did the butter add flavor to my meat, which was super important, what it did was it added lots of moisture to my meat. It kept my beef nice and juicy when I cut right into it. It was fantastic and perfect. Okay, so this one's good. It doesn't need any more meat, and we're gonna do our final two. And like I said, I've reserved some of this herb butter so that I can use it to toast off my buns at the end. So we're going to get a little bit of those fresh herbs right in the buns as well, okay? So last one, final pat. So what I have heating here is a griddle pan. So it is very hot here in Pennsylvania. So I have been not outside grilling, I've been inside grilling. So we talked about using our steam oven from Sharp the other day and finding ways to keep yourself cool and your kitchen cool in the summer. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to utilize my JennAir and a little griddle pan, and I'm going to make these burgers. They're going to be amazing, just like I made them outside. So I'm going to give my pan's heating. It's about on medium high. I'm going to give it a spray of Pam, and I'm going to let that go. I'm going to just check my temperature. I'm holding my hand above the pan, maybe about 2 inches, to see how hot it is. Now I can sit here for over 5 seconds, so that means my pan is just about medium. So I'm going to turn it up just slightly because I want to get a nice sear on these burgers, okay? So we're going to put our burgers right down. Ooh, you hear that? We're going to put our burgers right down onto our griddle pan like so. And we're going to do about 5 minutes on each side, okay? So let's get these straight into our pan. Now, I often talk to you guys about how much I love my home sweet home here in my JennAir kitchen. The space provided is amazing, but I did kind of want to talk to you about the cooktop. My heat on my JennAir cooktop is beautifully even. I don't have one stove burner that's hotter than the other. I have small ones for my small saucepans. I have large ones for my skillets and my woks. And I have a 6-burner professional style, which is so lovely and important to get that perfect amount of heat to each of your pans. We're talking even cooking, even cooling. It's a chef's dream, truly. So I'm going to grab a spatula, and then we'll start looking at how our burgers look. It's only been about a minute, so we're going to give it a little more time, but they are sizzling off perfectly. I have cut down, I just grabbed a fresh tomato from the store, some Bibb lettuce, which I love. It's beautiful, and it looks amazing on your roll with a sandwich, and a little bit of provolone cheese, because the Italian in me said, nah, let's do provolone, not American, but you do what you like. So if you like American, if you want to do a little spicy pepper jack, I think that would be amazing. So going along with our theme of garlic and parsley and basil, I figured why not add our provolone to the top, okay? I also have in front of me 5 sliced up sesame rolls right here. I'm sorry, poppy seed rolls. You can use sesame, you can use plain, you can use any kind of rolls you like. I like these, they have girth to them, and the poppy seed gives it a little extra something. So let me grab my spatula and we'll check on our burgers. So when I first started cooking burgers, I would try all different kinds. I would try veal and meatloaf mix and turkey, and just get a bunch of those different flavors combined to see what I like the most. So I noticed that the leaner cuts of meat, like your turkey, get a little bit dry. The same with one of my favorites is veal. It's such a delicate meat that it doesn't often take to high heat like your normal ground chuck would. So I decided I had to do a little something about it. And when I saw the show that had the little pat of butter inside, I thought, that's it. That's how we do it. I tried it and I loved it. Another way that you can do this burger is when you make your indentation, instead of going ahead and adding that pat of garlic butter, you can add a pat of cheese, cut down some nice extra sharp cheddar. That would be fantastic. There's also a thing such as beer can burgers. So you would just slide your beer can into the center, make a nice big indentation. I like to wrap a little piece of raw bacon around the outside of that burger and then put a raw egg in the center. So you have like a breakfast style burger. You can serve it on a sliced bagel. You can serve it on a biscuit or a straight bun, however you like it. But but it's a little twist on what we're doing here today. So these are sizzling away. They sound amazing. So I'm just going to take a little peek and see how my burger looks. Let's see. Nah, he needs another second to just get a real nice caramelization on there. So why burgers? So in the summertime, we love to barbecue. We all do. We pull out our grills. It's quick and easy. It's a great cleanup. But we make the same things, don't we? We tend to go to our go-to recipe for that barbecue chicken that mom made, or hot dogs, because it's easy for the kids. I think this is a way that you can treat yourself to something absolutely delicious without too much fuss, without too many extras. I mean, as you saw today, it took me less than 10 minutes to put my burgers together. They're going to take about 5 minutes to cook on the grill, and you're going to have something so much more satisfying than that frozen burger that you're going to find in your grocery store aisle. Trust me. All right, so I'm going to give these a little flip over, and we're going to see how they're coming out, okay? Oh, perfect. So we've got a nice sear on the outside. That's what we always want, is a nice sear, okay? Searing meat helps keep juices in. You hear chefs talk all the time about sear your meat. Why is it so important? Searing your meat creates a barrier so that the juices that you're trying to keep inside don't slide directly out of your meat. That's why chefs will often tell you not to cut into your meat directly after it's freshly cooked. Oftentimes people want to slice right in, see if it's all the way cooked, or they just can't wait to get their hands on it. But if you have a beautiful roast pork or a roast beef or even a chicken and you lay that out and cut right into that, all that juice and flavor that you worked so hard to create will just come pouring straight out. So avoid that at all costs. Trust me. Chef Cheryl's warning, do not cut into hot meat, okay? So we're getting a beautiful sear on the outside of these burgers, and that's fantastic. So they're going to need about, I'd say, 3 or 4 more minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my second pan. I'm going to slide it over so you guys can see it. And I'm just going to start my burner on that one. Like I said, here with my JennAir, I have 6 different burners. So I can cook all that I need at the same time. So I'm just going to add 1 more pat of butter to that plate because I have a big skillet and I have lots of buns. And I want to really incorporate the flavor as much as I can. So normally you would take your buns, you would flip them over and throw them right on that grill. So I'm simulating the same thing here in my kitchen at Gerhardt's Glenside. I am going to heat up this pan. I'm going to use it just to toast off those buns so that they have a nice crunch. I'm the kind of person who enjoys a warm toasted bun. Some people like it raw. Some people like it on bread even. You do what you like for you. But here I'm just going to add this garlic, basil, parsley butter right to my pan and get that melted so that I can get our buns in there and have them nice and toasty warm for when these burgers are ready. And they are getting ready. So let's talk about cooks of meat, how you like your hamburger. A lot of people like to say, I want my burger as dead as possible. I want it brown on the inside, no red whatsoever. And that's perfectly okay if that's your taste. Now, as a cook, oftentimes we want to go with probably a medium because we like to enjoy the flavors of our meats. So however you like to cook it, that's completely up to you. I'm going to cook these burgers all the way through because I am serving them here at Glenside. So I'm not sure how everybody might want their burger. So I always go for about a medium well. I think that's a safe bet for you at your parties if you're entertaining to go for about a medium well. That's what I would suggest. Okay, so my butter's starting to melt down. That's perfect. Now, like I have pre-sliced all my rolls for today. And I'm going to get them into this pan so we can start toasting off. And then I'm going to get my platter set up so we can serve. So now our For Scratch burgers were our last on our playlist. And what was on our playlist was barbecue, all for the month of July. So we had portobello burger for our vegan friends. We had sides. We did a pasta salad. It took 5 minutes. It had 5 ingredients and we did it in a cinch. So this is our last video on that playlist and this is our From Scratch burgers. Why don't you, while I'm doing this, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel and take a quick peek at those other videos and I think you'll get some great tips. Okay, so my butter's ready. So I'm just going to take 2 rolls quickly and stick them right into my pan. Get them nice and toasted off. Now these will take about 30 seconds to 2 minutes depending. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on them, and that's what I suggest that you do as well. So my pan for my burgers is on about medium high, as well as my pan for my buns. Okay. So I think we are coming to an end here with our burgers. I'm going to turn this heat down ever so slightly so that I still have some warmth. I'm still cooking through, but we are going to get these beauties plated. So I'm going to stick my hand right over my flame just to see how hot my pan is, because I do want to get my buns toasted. I'm going to take a peek and see if they're absorbing that butter. I'm going to get some more butter in that pan for the rest of my rolls while I'm doing that. Just going to spread it around ever so slightly. Now I'm intentionally having these pans so close together. I can have them completely separate. They do not need to be on top of each other. That's the beauty of my JennAir cooktop. But I am having them this close together for convenience. So yet again, another option from my friends at JennAir. So I'm going to turn this up a bit. Now next week on Getting Saucy, I'm going to have a super special episode for you guys. We are in our Ardmore location setting up a beautiful Wi-Fi connected appliance kitchen. So everything in the kitchen is Wi-Fi connected, and I'm going to do a demonstration for you guys on how to work with those appliances. We are also running blogs for our Gerhards. We are doing a connected appliance blog, an About Us blog that talks about the community, and I'm also doing a Getting Saucy blog so we can talk about all of our recipes and we can have everything together. So check those all out. It's gerhardsappliance.com. So my buns are nice and toasty, but they look amazing. I don't know if you guys can see this gorgeous butter. They look perfect. So I am going to put that down to my side right here. Not back onto my plate where my burgers were. We don't want to do that. Look at that gorgeousness. Isn't that fantastic? All right. So I'm going to add my last two buns right into my garlic butter. And I'm going to get some cheese onto these beautiful burgers that we made, okay? So now here, like I said, I have provolone cheese. You can use whatever cheese you would like. So here we are. I'm going to put one slice of provolone on each of my burgers. Just going to slide them out ever so slightly so that the sides aren't touching and we can get that cheese melted all around. Now I'm going to use a pan lid to help that cheese melt a little bit. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop that straight in. I'm going to grab my lid from underneath. And I'm just going to hold it above my burgers, okay? We're not going to put it down because we don't want it to touch that cheese. I'm just going to hold it ever so slightly. So what I'm doing is I'm containing the heat that's rising from the bottom of my pan. The lid is keeping it on the inside where my burgers are, and it's causing all that heat to come right back down onto that cheese and melt perfectly, okay? While I'm doing that, I'm going to take a peek at my rolls. They're gorgeous and buttery, exactly how I'd like them. I'm going to slide that pan right off the heat. Now let me take a look. Look how lovely our cheese is melted on our burgers. I'm just going to leave that on there for one more moment, okay? Turning my heat up ever so slightly just to give it a quick burn on that cheese. And what I'm going to do is start preparing my rolls. So I'm going to layer that bib lettuce that we talked about and our fresh tomato right onto the rolls, okay? So I'm just going to grab my buns. Get those all set up. I can hear that my cheese is ready, and it is beautiful. So I'm going to slide that pan right off the heat, okay? Turn that heat down, and we'll start plating up these beauties. Okay. So now some of us like tomato, some of us like pickle, mayonnaise, however you would like to top your burger, go for it. Please do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some bib lettuce for each one of the bottoms of my rolls, okay? Just checking to make sure I'm putting it on the bottoms and not on the tops. So we'll put that straight in. Okay. I'm also going to layer tomato. Let's say tomato on 3 of these, because not everybody likes tomato, right? So we'll layer tomato onto 3 of them, and then we'll pull our beautiful stuffed burgers straight off of our cooktop and onto your toasted bun. They smell incredible. I'm going to cut into one of these for you guys so you can see how juicy and delicious and what a difference one little pat of butter really makes. Okay? So there we are, gorgeous stuffed hamburgers for you and your family to enjoy. Join us the next time on Getting Saucy, and we'll do our Wi-Fi connected appliances and even more. You know I'm going to have something great for you guys. I will see you there.